there's a new wave of immigration that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
And that new wave of immigration is reckless, it's careless, and the numbers are clear on the results in terms of crime statistics. And can it all be summarized into, can it all be boiled down into one issue? No, it's not quite. But one thing is apparent is that this new wave does not typically care about the country they are coming into.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about this country's values. They have not learned to integrate into this country's values, and they don't care to, a lot of them.
The allegiance is still very much to their home country.
Their home country, where they have massive political issues.
Yes.
You know, you don't leave your country because you're happy there and it's a thriving economy and your children are flourishing. You leave a place because you're leaving a place that's destitute, a place that is maybe war-ridden, famine-ridden, cultural clashes, violence. You leave your country to come to Canada, to come to the US for that reason, to have economic hope, to work with other people from other cultures, from other countries, and other religions, and to work in unison. That's what Canada and the US, Europe has been for the last 40, 50, 60, 70 years. It's a beacon of hope for people that want to work in a culture and want to assimilate in a respectful way while preserving their own values and belief systems, but learn to live in harmony with people from all over the world. I find that this new wave of immigration doesn't have that concern.
Yeah, there's no living in harmony, right? So, and I made this point once upon a time, and so I'm not going to repeat it, but you have like modern day Toronto's approved at multiculturalism right now. It just doesn't fucking work.
Sorry to cut you off. I have so many clips of modern day Toronto.
Yeah?
Go ahead.
Well, so what we'll do, we'll show some clips at the end. I want to get into like some data and to like talk a little bit about Canada.
Let's do it.
And then we'll show what it leads to at the end.
Absolutely.
Okay. So right now, Canada as it stands, if we look at our net migration, and this takes into account permanent migration, right? People that come live here, because after that, we're going to look also at the temporary migration. You raised the point up, but I want to talk a little bit deeper into it. The net migration per 1,000 residents in 2023, which by the way, it's gone worse since, right? This is just the data that I got from 2 years ago. Canada is like top of the chart, right? We're number one at 31.5 net migrants in Canada per 1,000 residents. That is astronomically high. Now, mind you, Australia, which is having very similar problems as us, is right behind. They're at, what is that at? I'm fucking blind. They're at 20.2, right? So we're like 33%, even actually 50% higher than them. Switzerland is there as well, Lithuania, Portugal, and I spend considerable amount of time in Portugal. I lived there half the year, and you know what? It's bad over there as well. So we are way above our peer nations in terms of net migration. And the big issue that I have when it comes to that is that this does not even take into account temporary migration. And now this is where I really want to touch real quick. And I got to credit my good friend Jason James. He's out west in Alberta, and he runs the Brave New Normal podcast. He's an amazing essayist, by the way. The guy is a writer like I've never seen before. Highly recommend. This is me plugging him. He did not pay me for this. I just really love the guy. And he made a post that actually subsequently was picked up by Elon Musk, and it's blown up to like 20 plus million views. And he says how insane it is that he effectively analyzed the temporary immigrant data. So I got to credit him for this. And I did edit the data a little bit to reflect more recent information. But it is insane to think that, and I kid you the fuck not, 10% of Canada's population is temporary immigrants. 10%. Right now, as it stands, there's more than 3.12. So 3,125,000 people in 2024 in Canada that are temporary immigrants out of a population that used to be 37 million just a few short years ago. So 10% of the population is temporary immigrants. These are people that have even less incentive to integrate, even less incentive to want to become Canadians. They are not here forever. They're here for, we're talking here temporary foreign workers program, we're talking about study permits, or we're talking about the international mobility program. Now, this is atomic bomb level stress on our infrastructures, dude. There's no country in the world that is capable of integrating this many people in such a short time.
I mean, credit to the pleb. Look at Canada's immigration chart.
Mm-hmm. One thing though, I do have to say, by the way, this has been debunked. It has been. The one that the pleb posted, there's a real one. The real one is a little different. If you go down, there's probably a community note on this one. And if there isn't, then it's maybe a repost. But I've seen the actual real graph, and it's bad. It's bad, but it's not like
it's not this one.
No, it's not this one.
Okay.
I've actually I had this on my notes and I had to delete it because I didn't want to push. And it happens, guys. You know, this is why we're here, where we want to decipher through things.
I apologize.
No, it's okay. It's okay, dude. It's totally okay. But see here, if I put, this is the graph that Jason James posted. Bring it up real quick. So this is what the graph looks like. Now, the modification I did to it is, and it was community noted, is that initially they said that something like 30% of the population of Canada, so over 10 million people, were temporary immigrants. The issue is that they added the numbers, the values of every year together, whereas this just shows the amount of outstanding permits out there. So they're not cumulative, right? Because you would be adding some people twice or 3 times or 4 times. So, but ultimately the number here that's still important is 3.125 million people. 3,125,000 people are temporary immigrants. So that's, again,
in 2024 alone.
Yeah. In 2024, there's 3.125 temporary permits out there in just 1 year.
Oh, did we build like 3 million housing units for these people?
Let me wonder. Well, it's okay. We're about to invest like fucking $3 million per building there.
Per unit.
Per unit. Here's another interesting fact, just to show how much Canada's changed recently, right? As of 2025, actually, no, I'm not even going to say it. I want to hear what you think, okay? How many people, what do you think is the total share of the population of Canada that is not born in Canada, that is foreign born?
40%.
Dude, that's the number I used to think, by the way, and that's actually pretty spot on depending on the sources, but I'm going to go to a more conservative one, okay? Because again, my goal is not to be extremist. 25.5% of the population of Canada is foreign born. That is wild. That is insane. I don't know, man. For me, that's
insane.
It is
an insane
number. Which leads me to, and this point is very contentious, very contentious, but I have to make it. I have to. And this is the stuff that gets you banned. But is it time to save the West? See, white European account for roughly, depending on the source, between 7 and 14% of the world's population, right? It's an infinitely small minority. Yet, in most white Western country, the special status of minority is given to non-white residents, right? Indians, Chinese, Native Americans, you name it, right? Doesn't matter where they come from. Say a person from China that lives in Wales is considered a minority, yet there are over 1.1 billion Chinese nationals versus only 3 million Welsh in the entire fucking world. So in my eyes, isn't that the huge deception? The only countries, the only cultures that are told that we need to let people come in, and we need multiculturalism, we need diversity, we need to be inclusive, and we ought to let minorities, which is such a psyop, right, in our Western-led countries. But again, and in Canada, perhaps we are the majority, but in the entire world, and we are a globalist-led entity now to planet Earth, we're the minority. Like, I am part of the minority.
Just have more kids.
I need to make some babies. We're going to start accepting love letters here, you know? We're going to accept letters at the Right Call podcast. No, don't do that. But
look, to answer your question, is it time to save the West? I think saving the West comes a lot from saving the culture of the West.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about these different immigrants, I don't think it's such a race-based issue as it is just a values and culture-based issue. If we want to preserve our society, our free democratic society, where we have the right to vote, where we have the right to work, where we have the right to move freely, where we have the right to practice our own faith in our own space to ourselves and not to impose it on others and to shove it in others' faces. If we want to live in this kind of country and in this kind of world, we do need to preserve those values. We do need to remember what those values are to begin with. I actually have some before-after clips of Canada that will kind of bring a tear into your eye.
So we'll put them on, and this is going to be the prologue, not the prologue, the forward. The forward?
Yeah, the forward.
The forward for it, okay? This statistic, and then we're going to apply it to Canada because I'm sure it's going to bring tears to our eyes, all right? So let's look at Germany real quick. These are statistics and numbers straight from Germany, sorry. Let's compare two different cultures because it's such a good point. It's not so much about the race, the ethnicity, as it is the culture, right? And I will take that example, and this is why that was such a good setup, man. You gave me the fucking layup there, man. I love it. And then I'll give you the layup for this after, you'll see. So there are 39,000 Japanese citizens who live in Germany. Can we agree Japanese people are not white, right? They're Asians, right? It's a different nation, different ethnicity, but a culture that is, I would say, incredibly honor-based, incredibly excellence-driven, right? I love the Japanese. Out of 39,000 Japanese citizens in Germany, 2 of them were ever suspected of violent crime in 2023.
Wow.
Now, there are 25,000 Algerian citizens living in Germany, right? So there's 30-ish% less Algerians than they are Japanese in Germany. But out of 25,000 Algerians, there are 1,729 of them who are suspected of violent crime in 2023. So Algerian immigrants in Germany commit violent crime at a rate that's I had to fucking do a double take. They commit violent crime at a rate that's 135,000% higher than the rate that Japanese immigrants commit violent crime in Germany. To repeat,
my God.
135,000. That is 1,350 times higher. So that's exactly the point. It's not the ethnicity, it's the culture.
It's the lack of respect for the culture of the native country where they migrate to. That's what it is. You come to someone's home, you respect their home. That's kind of what it is. And oof, I'm gonna get grilled for that one. But
you want to show us what it leads to in Toronto, man.
Oh man.
And tell us what's gonna get you grilled because we're all for free speech here. No, you don't want to say it?
No, I will say it.
Okay, good.
I will say it. So this is let's look at this clip from Toronto, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let me zoom in.
I love how you laugh. It's like the most evilish laugh. You're like, ha ha ha.
No, not even.
You're like
dude.
ready.
No, it's just I'm thinking about what we were talking about. It's just making me laugh. Open this. This is just a migrant who started a fire on the bus. He just lights his shirt on fire and then in Toronto.
That's amazing.
Let's.
That's a mental disease right there, man. You got like mental.
Well, that's
issues.
what I'm saying. If we want immigrants in this country, we want them to be productive to our economy. Yeah. Let's bring migrant doctors. Why don't we bring in 1 million migrant doctors instead of just 1 million strangers?
That's the joke, right? By the way, all these people are doctors and engineers.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
This is a knife attack in Toronto that just happened.
Come here. You bring a knife? You bring a knife. You bring a knife. You bring a knife. You bring a knife. No. Wait, let them shoot. Come on.
What is going on with our immigration system?
You think that was a Canadian-born individual?
I don't think so. Someone who comes to this country and actually worked hard to preserve your cultural identity. Like, for example, I'm from the Sikh community. Mm-hmm. The OG Sikhs, the first Sikhs that came to Canada, came with such a level of dignity and respect towards the culture. Sikhs were widely regarded as a great immigrant group. And in the last 5 to 10 years, our our reputation in society has fallen apart. People are constantly criticizing our culture now. For example, a months-long joint investigation between police and Canada Post called Operation Undeliverable led to the arrest of 8 men accused of stealing over $400,000 worth of mail across Halton and Peel region. Officers recovered 255 checks, 182 credit cards, 35 government IDs, and 20 gift cards, with the suspects now facing a combined total of 344 charges.
Let me guess.
Let's look at the name.
It's Gaston and Terry, right?
No, not at all. It's Sumanpreet Singh, Gurdeep Chatta, Jashandeep Jatana, Harman Singh, Jasanpreet Singh, Manroop Singh, Rajbir Singh, Upinderjeet Singh. These guys brandish the name Singh,
which is a Sikh name.
The name Singh was given to us by the 10th prophet, Guru Gobind Singh. And this was the word Singh means lion. And so a lion, just to summarize it quickly, I'm not going to get into religious dogma here or religious information. The name Singh means lion, and a lion is supposed to be noble, just, truth, honorable, and supposed to preserve the society that they live in with dignity and respect. That is a core pillar as to why that name was given to Sikhs. And Sikhs, the original immigrants, came into this country with a tremendous amount of respect, were widely regarded as some of the most loved immigrants. It's a well-respected voter base in this country now. And these individuals that I'm showcasing are brandishing that name and creating this cultural resistance against our people. But these people do not represent the original Sikh culture and the values that Sikhism actually brings to the table in any country that they live in. These people do not belong in this country as far as I'm concerned. They should be deported and go back to India and face criminal charges in India. And you tell them that and they will immediately stop committing crime. And this is from multiple different immigration. This is from multiple different cultures. These people come in, and because they don't value the culture here, they get into crime while brandishing the name of our community.
Right.
And bring a bad name to the people who lived here for 30, 40, 50 years, first generation, second generation Sikhs and Indians and Muslims and Hindus and all of these people. These second, third generation people would not appreciate the way these new migrants are behaving. I personally don't. And I think as a country, we need to stand up to this as second generation, third generation people from these countries and say, no, ça suffit.
But this is why your voice is so
stops
important.
Here.
It's exactly why your voice is very important, because even though you're Canadian born, you're you're first generation Canadian, second generation Indian Canadian, I guess you can say, but your parents were born in India. They immigrated here, right? If I said what you say, and I do say it, but I get called a xenophobe, a racist, a this, a that, I'm fucking Hitler incarnate, right? But if it comes from someone whose parents actually espoused the good values and is now his name, his background, his community is being smeared because of criminals like that, that's where it's much more powerful. Your voice is the voice of reason in this.
I hope. That's why it's a big reason I'm in Canadian politics.
Yeah. And it's good. We need voices like you.